Hi, I'm Kiersten Sheahan, and I currently serve as the Chief of Counseling for the Fort Cavazos Education Services Division, and I'm applying to Angelo State University's School Counselor Certification Program. I went to college to become a school counselor over 10 years ago now. That was what I wanted to be. I knew that was what I wanted to be. My goal was to stay on at the school where I performed my practicum and work as an elementary school counselor. And right as I was about to finish my master's program, my fiance joined the Army, and our life was flipped upside down. We went from living in rural upstate New York to Fort Benning, Georgia, where I found a job as a assistant director for disability services at Columbus State University. That was a job that I really loved. I loved the clientele that I worked with. I loved the scope of work that I performed. And that's where I really developed a love for helping students figure out what they wanted to do with their life, where they wanted to go next. I worked in that position for 3 years before my husband got orders to Fort Hood, Texas. We moved in 2014, and that's when I started working as a guidance counselor for the Fort Cavazos, at the time Fort Hood, Education Services Division. When I first started working here, I was a guidance counselor, and we helped soldiers, veterans, and family members figure out what they wanted to go to college for and how they would get their college paid for. Eventually, I worked my way up, and now I'm the chief of counseling, which was always my long term goal. So I feel like I've reached the pinnacle of what I wanted to accomplish here. I currently lead a team of 16 guidance counselors, and it's a very rewarding job. But I feel like I'm ready for what's next. I've been feeling lately that I really want to get back to my roots and what I originally went to go to college for. I'm also a mom, and so getting back into a school system and having a little bit more time to spend with my children is also something that's really important to me at this stage of my life. So I want to pursue this program because I'm ready for the next challenge in my life. I feel like I've accomplished all of the goals that I set for myself working in the Fort Cavazos Education Services Division. It's been a very rewarding experience. It's been a wonderful job. But now I want to step into my next role, which I firmly believe is becoming a school counselor again. I see the role of a school counselor as someone who helps guide students into who they're meant to be. Whether that's short term, making sure they are taken care of where they're at, or long term, making sure they're taken care of once they transition out of high school, knowing what they want to do and helping them figure out how they can reach their goals. I've had a lot of mentors along the way and a lot of people who've helped me reach my goals. And I think that's so important to have someone who's always on your team, who's always rooting for you, who's always there to help you when things get a little bit difficult. That's how I view the role of a guidance counselor, is someone who's always on the student's team, their cheerleader, their person who's there to make sure that they're taken care of in the short term, but also help them to figure out who they really want to be and help them reach all of those milestones that they need to reach to become who they ultimately want to be. I think it's really important in both my current role and as a school counselor to be a professional, because we're setting a standard. We're setting the standard and telling students that this is what it looks like to be an adult, to be a professional, which so many of them want to become, no matter what that looks like, whether they do decide to join the Army, whether they're looking for a career after high school. They're going to have to be responsible. They're going to have to be reliable. I view my role as a professional as someone who can show students how to become all of those things, how to be someone that you can rely on, how to be someone who says when something is going to get done, you get those tasks done. I also view myself as a professional in the sense that I'm passionate. I think having a passion and having a drive is so important because you need to have something that you're looking forward to. You need to have something that you love. And so I also believe that being a professional means really finding yourself in that passion so you can give whatever it is that you're involved in everything that you have. I think that's important to teach people as they're coming up. I think it's important to instill in people now. I think it's important to instill that there has to be a passion, there has to be a drive. And I think that that's something that we have to show as professionals. Ultimately, I want to become a school counselor. I've always wanted to become a school counselor. It's always been something that's been a dream of mine, a goal of mine. Life took me in a couple of different directions, but I think it's time to get back to where I wanted to be in the very beginning. I view the role of a school counselor is vitally important. I view the role of a school counselor as someone who is really there to help soldiers and students in such an important way. I feel like a guidance counselor or a school counselor is there to really just support. I mentioned before, to guide, to offer a friendly face, to offer a warm welcome, to offer someone who can say, I hear you, I hear what you want to become, I believe in your goals, I believe in you, now let's reach your goals. And I truly view myself as a professional. I view myself as someone who takes a job very seriously, and I view myself as someone who wants to instill that seriousness in other people. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you.